2018 Audi Q8 SUV review. The good points of Audi Q8 SUV. A8-derived interior. Huge quantities of onboard tech. Mild hybrid tech as standard. The bad points of Audi Q8 SUV. Only 5 seats. Rivals are strong and plentiful. Just usually the one engine from launch. Yet another Audi SUV has arrived. This may be the all-new Audi Q8, the German brand's new flagship coupe crossover. It's designed like a sporty 5-seat SUV meant to appeal to famous brands, those thinking about buying a Porsche Cayenne, Bentley Bentayga and Lamborghini Urus, more than famous brands' 7-seat SUVs such as Land Rover Discovery and Volvo XC90. You can place your order for starters in July 2018. The Q8 has a different design direction from the majority of Audi Q SUVs. The front-end design, with all the massive, thickly boarded grille detailed with vertical and horizontal slats, would be the new face with the brand's 4x4 models, while using Audi Q3 crossover anticipated to be the next one out of line on an update. The single-frame octagon about the grille is going to be body-colored on standard models, while S-Line versions will feature an anodized gray one and also a black. Anybody can be specified to be a further styling option. New colors including Dragon Orange pictured and Galaxy Blue can make their debut within the new Q8. Audi Q8, Interior and Technology. Audi's Q8 works on the very similar design to the new A8, A7 and A7 that has a twin touchscreen infotainment system, various available dashboard paneling options along with a high center console which has a fat gear lever. The infotainment system uses haptic feedback and features stuff like intelligent navigation mapping from navigation techs, here, plus AI-assisted voice control and ambient lighting. Tech like night vision, massage seats, double-glazed side windows can all be specified about the options list. What engines are for sale for the Audi Q8? Just one from launch. A 286 horsepower V6 diesel efficient at 0.62 miles per hour sprint in 6.3 seconds and also a top speed of 144 miles per hour. 231 horsepower V6 diesel as well as a 340 horsepower V6 petrol are going to be available from 2019. All engines use quattro all-wheel drive with an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and many types of are equipped which has a 48V mild hybrid system allowing for engine off-coasting even at motorway cruising speeds as well as a better integrated start-stop system. We also expect an e-tron plug-in hybrid model to sign up the range, too, just much like the Q7 e-tron. Every Audi Q8 has steel springs with adaptive dampers as standard, while air suspension with weather comfort or sport dynamic bias and rear wheel steering are for the options list. Audi Q8, Practicality. The Q8 merely 5-seater, but rear space is fantastic even for tall adult occupants, after got a beginning taste on the new Q8 before its reveal. Boot space, meanwhile, is rated at 605 liters together with the seats in position. 165 liters only a Q7 in 5-seat mode and in many cases the 5-seat Porsche Cayenne. Still, the strain area is flat, wide and contains a low load lip. Audi Q8, Price and Release Date. Audi's new Q8 SUV should go on sale in July 2018 across Europe in 50 TDI spec initially. 45 TDI and 55 TFSI models are anticipated in early 2019. Prices aren't confirmed yet, though this to be a flagship car, expect a small price premium on the comparable Audi Q7. Keep an eye out to the full Audi Q8 SUV review coming in 2010 on Good SP. Watch of petrol, diesel and hybrid power. Manual and automatic gearboxes available. Hybrid launched in 2016, quiet, quick and efficient. At launch there was clearly only 2 engines available, and as being a family car, BMW 2 Series Active Tourer performance had not been a priority. The range has subsequently expanded significantly, though. All derive from a new modular construction, either 1.5-liter 3-cylinder examples or larger 2.0-liter units with 4 cylinders, and fitted transversely sideways in lieu of lengthways within the car's bonnet. In 2016 a plug-in hybrid was introduced. BMW 2 Series Active Tourer petrol engines. The 218i, which can be actually a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, produces 136 horsepower and may sprint from 0-62 miles per hour within 9.2 seconds. It's a remarkably refined unit, with no giveaway that by most conventions it's missing a cylinder, and responds perfectly perkily from low down within the rev range, although it does its best higher up the rev range. Equally hushed at speed, 2 Series Active Tourer owners will likely be more concerned about refinement than straight-line performance. Those who do crave more needed to wait until November 2014, if the 218i was supplemented because of the 220i and 225i, even though the latter was discontinued within the UK during 2017. Both have both the .0-liter, 4-cylinder engine, the 225i with 230 horsepower and xDrive 4-wheel drive. BMW 2 Series Active Tourer diesel engines. If economy and efficiency, using a lower shop price than the hybrid, are the priorities, then it's the 218d which will likely catch your eye. This 2.0-liter 4-cylinder diesel is able to emit only 109 gkm but sometimes sprint from 0-62 miles per hour in 8.9 seconds, as a result of its 150 horsepower and 330 Nm of torque. The 3-cylinder petrol has it licked for refinement, although diesel does feel more willing around the move. Like the petrol engines, the diesel lineup was expanded in November 2014 because of the 216d 3-cylinder 1.5-liter and 220d having a higher output version on the 218d's engine. Should you wish, the 220d is additionally available with xDrive, where it truly is fitted together with the 8-speed automatic gearbox as standard. BMW 2 Series Active Tourer plug-in hybrid engines. Don't be fooled from the 225's badging. The plug-in hybrid PHEV version in the 2 Series Active Tourer uses technology through the i8 sports cars, together with the 3-cylinder 1.5-liter petrol engine powering leading axle twin having an electric motor driving a corner wheels. In the primary it's smooth and to drive, with near-instant response due to its electrical assistance. Subscribe for just a full evaluation of how the BMW 225's Active Tourer. BMW 2 Series Active Tourer gearboxes. There are 4 gearboxes available depending upon the age with the 2 Series Active Tourer, the especially smooth and efficient 8-speed automatic, as well as for 3-cylinder engines a 6-speed version. Those who choose to swap cogs themselves may find BMW's 6-speed manual gearbox instead, that's easy to use, that has a short throw and relaxed shift action. A 7-speed dual-clutch automatic was added during 2018's facelift. Probably the most beneficial people carrier they are driving. Feels as being a proper BMW in many ways. Based on platform distributed to Mini, X1. Once regarded, at least marketed because ultimate driving machine, the rollout of a front-wheel drive BMW, and specifically a small people carrier, shocked that the marque's purists. However, if you're a fan from the firm's products in addition to their driving appeal, then do not worry. While the 2 Series Active Tourer won't trouble an M3 around a racetrack, it truly is sharper than a lot of its family-orientated competitors. In fact, still it feels such as a BMW drive-in automobile, in spite of the change in engine and transmission layout, and then for most drivers you'd be hard-pushed to notice the back wheels aren't being driven. Plus 4-wheel drive xDrive models were delivered 225i and 220d soon after the initial launch. The optional electronic damper control adaptive suspension, allowing drivers to tailor your vehicle's responses thus to their requirements and road conditions, is usually a worthwhile extra. Variable sports steering is additionally optional, and from experience with other BMW products using this fitted, it could make a noticeable difference for keen drivers, even when that's definitely not who this vehicle is targeted at. Regardless, body control is extremely good and each Series Active Tourer corners flatly and without fuss, even at speed. It's easily as good they are driving as the Ford Ka-Max or Golf SV. That's regardless of the car's 1,563 mm high, as well as in part down to your wide 1,561 mm front and 1,562 mm rear distance between nearly everywhere wheels. There is however firmness on the chassis that never quite goes away completely. This means the Citroën C4 Space Tourer incorporates a more comfortable ride. As expected, the 2 main Series Active Tourer comes filled with BMW's electronic stability control system, but like its badged SUV models X1, X2 and X3, one example is you may fully disengage the machine. However, not most of these compact people carriers will venture onto a track. Overall, the experience is often a good one. Such as the waiting from the steering, and it also is not so difficult to park, too, with good visibility across the car because of lots of glass. Acoustic sensors or automatic parking can be purchased as you climb the trim structure. Smart, well thought out cabin design gets the most up-to-date BMW technology. iDrive multimedia among the most beneficial available. BMW expects around 75% of 2 Series Active Tourer buyers ahead from conquest sales, but for your other quarter coming from your firm's other models, the cabin layout will probably be relatively familiar. The layering design from the dashboard is one thing we've seen over the rest from the BMW range, along with the tablet-like freestanding multimedia display screen from the center, whilst the instruments are incredibly much like those found elsewhere. That said, some from the switchgear has gotten an update, essentially the most noticeable being the climate controls, which look vaguely paying homage to an Audi system, along with the automatic gear lever can be a different design to individuals we have seen recently in the firm. You'll probably have to do some time to familiarize yourself using the iDrive interface, unless you're Alwachi, a BMW owner, where instance you'll wonder the way you ever managed without this intuitive control system. Add to that excellent material quality, fit and handle, plus neat switchgear, and the 2 Series Active Tourer's cabin is one on the highlights. From July 2017, BMW installed its latest professional 8.8-inch iDrive infotainment package from the Active Tourer, including a built-in SIM card along that has a Wi-Fi hotspot, Microsoft 365 connectivity, enhanced voice control capability using real speech, real-time traffic information with time until you have notifications, and optional Apple CarPlay connectivity. A clear head-up display features too, and now we noticed that it's one with a few systems being offered that works perfectly with polarized sunglasses, though during some types of driving like dusk or perhaps in heavy rain it could possibly become just a little distracting. You can switch it well, though. Very solidly built, but ride can be a little firm. Hybrid would be the quietest in the stove. Optional adaptive suspension helps. Built to hold families, it ought to be no surprise that comfort was near the top with the BMW 2 Series Active Tourer's priority list during development. Certainly, the seats are usually BMW within their width of adjustment. There's plenty, with no excuse for not choosing the right driving position. That said, you are doing sit 30 mm higher than inside the maker's X1 SUV, and it also feels high through the driving seat. Along together with the seat adjustment beforehand, there's lots of reach and rake movement within the steering wheel too. On the move, especially within the 3-cylinder petrol model, both the Series Active Tourer impresses. On this engine by far the most noticeable noise is in the wind, as opposed to the pistons, unless you're really accelerating hard. The diesel isn't quite as refined, however once you've reached your desired cruising speed it quickly settles to some hush note, with a little vibration throughout the controls. An underlying firmness towards the suspension, that enables the BMW to corner much better than a Citroën C4 Space Tourer by way of example, includes you can feel most from the ruts and bumps below you, and that's without selecting sport mode within the adjustable suspension. But as you move the ride isn't pillow soft, it's rarely wearing, and customarily very well composed. If comfort is the primary consideration you'll learn that a 225's plug-in hybrid should suit you perfectly nicely. This is because it runs in near silence when on energy, and using a theoretical array of 28 miles it's possible many drivers might use this model without the need for any fuel at all as being a city commuter car. 4 trims, fairly well specified. Many options within the table. Exact spec for 2018 models DBC. There are 4 trim choices for your BMW 2 Series Active Tourer from the UK. The entry-level say is supplemented by Sport, Luxury and M Sport models. Standard BMW 2 Series Active Tourer equipment. Regardless one's trim you decide on, all BMW 2 Series Active Tourers come well equipped, since you'd a cure for their price. On same models, practicality is taken care of together with the automatic tailgate, which hides the 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split rear seat and 60 hours 40 minutes sliding base with electronic folding, and that means you don't must clamber around from the rear watchy to facilitate large loads. Life's made just like easy for your drive because of Bluetooth connectivity plus a USB interface for that BMW professional radio with single CD player, that allows for audio streaming and provides DAB radio. Everything is displayed for the central freestanding, as is also the current fashion 6.5-inch monitor. Keeping occupants cool could be the dual-zone climate control system, while rain and light await sensors activate the headlights and wipers automatically, and rear parking sensors mean there's no excuse for backing into anything unexpected. Drive performance control with EcoPro helps save fuel, due to efficiency tips, plus the car could be started within the button with no key. If buyers fancy something just a little sportier, then it's the £1,250 higher-priced sport model that can catch their eye, adding 17-inch alloy wheels as opposed to 16-inch items, sports front seats, LED ambient lighting and tweaks to your interior trim and exterior styling. Next from the lineup could be the luxury model, £2,000 greater than the standard say, that's liable to bring with it 17-inch alloy wheels of a different design, leather seats, LED ambient lighting, chrome exterior details and wood trim about the interior. November 2014 saw the creation of M Sport models, costing an additional £3,000 above the say specification cars, and changed the look on the car due to an aerodynamics package, specific M Sport suspension, 18-inch M Sport alloy wheels and sports leader and seat combination. Optional BMW 2 Series Active Tourer extras. There exist several options packages available about the BMW 2 Series Active Tourer, each offering a fortune of extra kit for no more cost as opposed to individual items added together. The technology package adds a reversing camera, comfort access, that permits you to open the boot with just a swing of one's foot below the trunk bumper, and adaptive LED headlights. Choose the Navigation Plus package and you're treated to a whole new 8.8-inch full-color display, connected drive services with actual time traffic information and also a head-up display. There's also the normal navigation package with smaller screen and regular traffic information, as well as a driver comfort package with adaptive cruise control and park assist. After which the list is extensive, and includes the panoramic glass sunroof, which floods the cabin with light, so that it is feel even larger, as well as the upgraded Harman Kardon stereo audio, active cruise control, as well as trim and color choices. Post-facelift 2018 BMW 2 Series Active Tourer equipment. The update in 2018 introduced a number of additional features, but at time of writing exact pricing and specifications have yet to be released. However, expect the next: 2 extra body colors, 6 new designs of alloy wheel, new seat covers, optional LED headlights and tail lamps, latest generation professional multimedia and drive control system. Driver assistance systems detailed below in safety. The 2 Series Active Tourer scored 5 stars at Euro NCAP's crash testing program. It's got lots of safety kit aboard as standard, including 2 rear ISOFIX mounting points and 1 out of the front passenger seat. And if the worst happen, along with an accident, BMW Emergency Call will automatically contact you together with inform the neighborhood emergency services if any in the car's airbags are deployed. A raft of connected drive options further increase each Series Active Tourer's safety, with adaptive LED headlights, a head-up display with an active cruise control that could brake gets hot or detects you might be closing for the car before, are common available. On top of that, Active Guard and Driving Assistance stops you against wandering between lanes in addition to detecting objects and pedestrians within your way, warning you of these presence, and when required braking you with a halt. Watch, BMW 2 Series Active Tourer Euro NCAP crash test. Spacious cabin and enormous boot. Hybrid model suffers slightly. Should prove simple to park. Space makes perfect here, therefore BMW 2 Series Active Tourer practicality is one in the highlights from the entire package. In comparison, while using 1 Series Sports hatch, the compact people carrier is 16 mm longer and 25 mm wider. Despite a fractionally shorter wheelbase, the Active Tourer boasts more interior space, with rear legroom comparable into a 7 Series. Certainly, it's no problem to get a full-sized adult to sit down behind another in complete comfort. That rear bench slide forward or backwards too, varying a combination between boot and passenger space as required, though there's no full removal option. The Active Tourer shouldn't be hugely tough to park. Its footprint would be the size of any medium hatchback, but thanks to your tall body the driving force has great visibility as being the windows are incredibly big. Depending on specification you may have rear acoustic sensors, a camera or perhaps an automatic parking system that can help this 2 Series slot for your garage. With the trunk seats electrically folded flat, the stress space is comparable to that from the firm's 3 Series Touring. The 2 Series Active Tourer sports a very wide rear tailgate opening too, in order to make loading larger items easier. Including the underfloor utility area, there's as much as 468 liters of space available, with 1,510 on offer using the rear seats folded. It's worth noting here that 225's plug-in hybrid buyers will mislay a bit of room thanks on the batteries located in the boot floor, so capacity drops to 400 and 1,350 liters respectively. If you've got longer what to carry, then your optional folding front passenger seat is really a worthwhile option, while as standard the trunk bench splits within a 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds configuration.